Hi guys, welcome to Techno News episode 17. Remember to hit the thumbs up and leave a comment. Even a emote gains engagement, so anything in there will be helpful. Sub to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'm grateful to everybody who already has. I'm getting so close to the magic 250. Be very much appreciated if you wouldn't mind doing so. Ring the bell for alerts and further content coming. Remember to catch me on my other socials, Twitter, TikTok, all at TechnoFishLive. And remember to watch my live streams on kick.com/technofishlive from around 10 o'clock on a UK night time. So I look forward to seeing you there. Speaking of Kick, the first bit of news is around them. They announced the first class program they released. The first phase of was a success, and they'll be adding a further 50 creators soon, with more to follow shortly after that. Still no final info on how it works or what the criteria are to get picked, or how you go about getting picked. Look forward to seeing more about this in the days to come. And they also managed to finally fix the app. Myself, I know there seem to be quite a few people, but some were saying they were having any issues with it. But mine, I couldn't really watch anybody on the app every time I tried. After a couple of minutes, it'd just freeze up and kick us out, or they just wouldn't work in general. So they've put a patch out for that. I downloaded it yesterday and everything seems fine with that now, thankfully. So hopefully I'll be able to do a lot more networking and getting into people's streams and seeing what people are up to and stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well. There's been a lot of people, CEOs, directors, whatever you want to call it, upsetting people of late. It's all a bit of a strange situation, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure what's going on in the world, but people saying there's something in the water or what. Yeah, starting with Elon Musk. He had a bit of a falling out with his friend, James Woods, regarding Elon decided he wanted to remove the block function from Twitter, or X, claiming that it makes no sense and he wants shot of it. Basically, to me, it feels like he's doing it so you cannot block companies so they can advertise on your feed more. I may be wrong, but that's how it feels to me. Obviously, there's a lot of backlash from this because it means people cannot block people who are trolling them or just basically being offensive, or people who need to block people for security issues. So James Wood sort of defended it, saying if you remove the ability to block concerted harassment by trolls or organised political entities, how will it be any different from what Twitter became? And basically Elon turned around and says, well, if you don't like it, delete your account. And then following on from that, it sort of escalated from there, and Elon blocked James Woods. So the policy he's trying to fight for, he's implemented. Says it made no sense, but he's implemented it and blocked him. I get no indication of what all that's about. Any suggestions, please leave insight in the comments if you're any more clued up on this than I am, because I haven't got a clue what's going on with this. It's just silly. More people who are sort of upsetting user bases and stuff. Overwatch 2 has pretty much been review bombed since its release on Steam. As you can see here, it's overwhelmingly negative. 156,000 reviews. People just pretty much review bombing Overwatch 2, basically around the broken promises that were given by the Activision Blizzard on its release, and they were going to include so much more content. There was going to be a single player mode, there was going to be this, that, whatever. None of it happened, so people have decided to act against that by pretty much slating it on Steam. The director put out a statement saying it's not fun being the target of review bombs. Do your fucking job and give people the game that you promised, and then none of this would happen. It's the same with Call of Duty. They've had to put a statement out as well, because people, after the announcements of what's coming in Call of Duty, Activision Blizzard announced that obviously all the maps in the Modern Warfare 3 game are basically just going to be rehashes of the old Modern Warfare 2 maps. It's going to have the same weapons, the same vehicles, all the previous skins are going to carry over. So people are saying, well, surely it's just DLC, it's not an actual game. But they were forced to put a statement out saying, as stated in numerous Activision Blizzard quarterly conference calls, Modern Warfare 3 is a premium release and will be priced accordingly at $70 US. Basically all the stating is to make it a full price game. Obviously there's a new campaign, which is fair enough. But they've introduced a co-op mode, which wasn't there previously, apparently. I didn't play Modern Warfare 2, so I don't know, to be honest. They've introduced a co-op mode, which wasn't there before. I'm sure they've done them in the past, and they were quite fun, but whether it's enough to warrant... It was basically just bits of the map cut out with the AI charging you. And they've introduced a zombie mode in this one, which doesn't normally feature in the Modern Warfare games, but they've added it into this iteration. This is all following from a previous statement from Activision Blizzard that COD would no longer be annual releases. So a year after the last one, we're getting this one. All a bit odd, but what can you do? There's a lot of other people kicking off around NFTs. Again, something I'm not really into. I've not really paid much attention to it. It just seems a bit silly. Buying a graphic, just daft. Most of them were this stupid monkey that was bloody awful anyhow. There were a lot of people who paid money for these are apparently kicking off because they're apparently worth nothing. They were obviously endorsed by a lot of celebrities, if you want to call them celebrities. The only ones that spring to mind really for me are Paris Hilton and Justin Bieber. Did sort of mention them on chat shows and stuff they've been on, but even them, they were given them. They didn't actually buy them. They were given them ones. So it's all a bit silly. NFTs, similarly, Zynga, the mobile game company, have announced its first ever blockchain game, Sugartown, which is going to include NFTs. So you can sort of buy and sell or whatever NFTs within the game. Along with that, obviously, EA included the Night Crossovers NFTs in FIFA and Madden, where you can go on the Nike website, create your own boots, balls, etc., and you get a code for the NFT, which you then implement into the game. I don't get any of it. I don't know what it's all about, but it'd be interesting to see what happens. That obviously Doc's going to include NFTs in his game somehow, so we'll see. Keep an eye on that and see what happens with it all. The other day, I raided a guy on Kick who was talking about Star Citizen. It's not a game I've played. I know nothing really about it, but when I've been looking into it, I don't think I'm going to bother. Apparently the game was kickstarted back in 2012, raised quite a hefty sum of money, which got it off the ground. In a recent statement, they've announced they're going to be changing the structure of the game to now include different paid tiers of subscriptions on a monthly basis. This is alongside buying credits in game to purchase objects, spaceships, whatever. Bearing in mind this is run by a company that's allegedly valued at over $500 million at the minute. They've cited the changes due to player base's habits, so they're blaming the players for introducing this change. They're saying basically what happens is they've noticed a spike of users logging into the servers at the launch of a new season or whatever they're called in that game. They basically log in, check the spaceships, say there's nothing else to do because they've already completed it all, and log back out. And they said to get around this spike, they're going to introduce a paid tier system where if you pay the top price, you get in first. If you pay the bottom price, you have to wait to access the servers. As I said, they're blaming the player base, saying they're not actually doing what they want them to. They're only logging in, checking the stuff and logging out. They're not actually playing the game. They're not stress testing the servers. Well, surely that's a stress test in itself if they're not bloody working when people are logging in. But never mind. They put a statement saying that they weren't testing the servers, they weren't finding any bugs, they weren't doing this and that. So they're going to charge people for the privilege. Surely charging people goes against all of that, and they're just going to drive the player base further away. Bearing in mind a lot of people have already heavily invested in the games. I know people put in like hundreds of dollars or whatever within the initial Kickstarter. They've been buying the DLC, they've been playing the game for like 10 years now. I can't see that ending well, so I think I'm going to stay clear of that one. The game itself did look quite interesting, but I think I'm going to give that one a miss. Similarly, Creative Assembly, with regards to Total Warhammer 3, have done something very similar. They suddenly dramatically increased the cost of the DLC for the latest patch of Warhammer 3. So in the past, people were only paying about $10 for, in some cases, a full new army, or if not, new units to use and new characters, things like that. But apparently they've decided to suddenly up that to $25 instead of the 10. So they've had to put a statement out on their website from the chief product officer. Basically what he says is it's up to you, vote with your wallets. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I can't remember the exact term, how was it? There, at the bottom there. That said, we do need to challenge ourselves to ensure that this cost still offers good value. Ultimately, it's up to each of you to decide, and we'll keep trying to balance that. So basically, if you don't like it, don't buy it, and we'll see if we can change the price again in the future. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Companies are just getting greedy now. They must have known what the DLC was worth. They'll know how many work hours have gone into it. I just don't get that at all. It's all a bit dodgy to me. Yeah, so that's the statement they've put out regarding that. My concern is Creative Assembly, the team behind that game, are also behind the new upcoming game Hyenas, which look quite fun. I actually had a look at the trailer for that and applied for the beta. It's basically a zero-G shooter, first-person shooter, cross between COD, Halo, Splitgate, but it looks like it's going to be S&D objectives where you've got to sort of crack a safe and get out or something along them lines. It could be fun, but I'm just concerned they'll do the same with that and introduce silly tiers of DLC, and obviously there's going to be skins and characters to unlock and whatever else. So I'm not sure if it's going to be free to play on launch. I'm assuming it will be. Most of these games are now. If it is, then it's just going to give them even more rein on sort of charging whatever they want or whatever they want. Yeah, it's all a bit of a strange one, that, but we'll keep an eye on it. As I say, the beta's coming at the end of the month. I'll be watching that to see how it goes. Other news, which I've been following recently, has been Dark and Darker. Apparently the lawsuit has been dismissed, but that's not necessarily the end of the saga. The full story, if you read it all, obviously that sounds like it's a success and it's going to go ahead. It's not the case. If you read further into it, it's been dismissed for improper venue. So basically what they've said is, why are you bringing this to court in the US when it's a Korean issue? Most of the companies involved are Korean. If you want to pursue it there. So it may get raised again. It may not. In the meantime, there's still no news of it coming back to Steam. You've still got to get it through their launcher directly. Obviously Steam are keeping the distance from it in the meantime till it's all been done and dusted and blown over. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of that as well. It does look a good game, to be fair, but I think my PC struggled with it, so I may not get to play that very often, but I might give it another look and see how we get on. A game I do play, unfortunately, is Valorant. They've announced a new bundle and a new map coming at the end of the act. The new bundle, it's been given the sort of name Yeni, but people are not sure if that's actually the name or if it just means new in Turkish. So whether it's been picked up on a site and somebody says it's the new bundle or called Yeni, or if it's just a new bundle. It's going to include a Vandal, an Operator, a Judge, a Sheriff, and a blade, the curved blade, as opposed to an actual knife or sword or whatever. It looks very much like the Samedi, or whatever it's called, the sort of Egyptian one. It looks like that, but they've changed the animals on it to dragon heads. But again, it's to do with water dragons, apparently. We'll keep an eye on it. It's going to be released at the end of the end of next week, so we'll see what that's all about. But they also announced a new map called Sunset, or codename Sunset, and that's going to be previewed in the finals of the VCT at the weekend. It'll be interesting to see what that plays like, if it's going to be a 2-site, a 3-site, how it's going to work. Yeah, look and see what that's all about at the weekend. And my last bit of news, it's a bit sad really, but apparently it's no longer me, Mario. Charles Martinet has decided to step away. Whether he stepped away or if he's been sort of told to step away by Nintendo, it's not entirely clear. Been given a new role of the Mario Ambassador, whatever that means. Basically, he can still go around to all the conferences and shows and things like that and be associated with the brand, but he's no longer going to be doing the voice acting. What that means down the line for Mario, I don't know. Are they going to give Chris Pratt the role and let him do all of the voice acting as well as the movies. Obviously, he was involved with that. Are they going to get a voice actor? Are they going to use UI to do the voice for them, which will be the cheaper option, I guess? Not really sure. As I said, the statement itself doesn't really give much clarification. It just says that he's going to be moving into the brand new role of Mario Ambassador, and he'll be no longer voicing the characters for the games. So, yeah, whether it's his choice and he wants to slow down and just enjoy it for what it is or what, I don't know. But yeah, anyhow, that's the news for today. Seems to be quite a lot in there, to be honest. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please let me know in the comments. If there's any feedback at all, please let me know in the comments. Any feedback is gratefully accepted. As I said, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, even if it's just an emoji. It gets the engagement onto the video. Sub to the channel if you haven't already done so. Ring the bell if you haven't to get alerts for further content coming. There will be more to come. And hit me up on my socials and on Kick Live from around 10 o'clock on the night. All at Technofish Live. And in the meantime, I shall catch you later. Have a good one. Ciao for now.